Hello, everybody. Welcome to the UMA Alumni Association's first webinar of the new year, Building a Positive Online Presence. My name is Alexis, and I'm the Alumni Engagement Coordinator at UMA. Kaitlyn Corrigan will be your speaker during today's webinar. Kaitlyn has been with UMA for almost a year, and many of you may recognize her as the girl who responds on all of UMA's social media platforms. Kaitlyn has experience working in the social media landscape and has many best practices and tips to share on this topic. She's passionate about all things social media and has the pleasure of interacting with UMA students and graduates on a daily basis. Before Kaitlyn begins presenting, we have a few reminders to go over. The presentation will last for roughly 20 minutes, and at the end, Kaitlyn will leave several minutes open for audience questions. You can send your questions at any time in the questions box, and we'll collect them, and she'll address as many as possible at the end. We encourage you to ask her anything you might have ever wondered regarding social media and professionalism. If you happen to experience audio issues during the webinar, we recommend exiting out of the current browser and opening the webinar in a different browser. For example, close Chrome and open Internet Explorer. We also recommend closing out of other pages and applications to help the platform run as smooth as possible. We did want to let you guys know that you are muted to prevent noise interference during the webinar, so if you have a question, be sure to send it in the questions box since we are unable to hear you. Last but not least, the webinar is being recorded and will be sent to participants to view shortly after the webinar concludes. We're so excited that you guys are here with us today. Thank you, Kaitlyn. Let's begin.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kaitlyn, and I'm on the social media team here at Ultimate Medical Academy. I'm so excited to be speaking with you all today about how to manage your social media to maintain a positive online reputation. In the past, social media was a place to connect with friends and family, play online games like Farmville, and share pictures and updates of life. But in today's day and age, it is all of these things plus so much more. Whether you like to admit it or not, your online profile is an extension of yourself. Family members, friends, acquaintances, and most importantly, potential employers and current bosses all use social media to get a grasp of who you are, sometimes even before they meet you. For these reasons, it is crucial for us to display the best versions of ourselves on our social media profiles. In this training, we will talk about 5 best practices on how to manage your social media profile. Deciding which social media platform to build your personal brand, choosing a name or handle, choosing an appropriate profile picture and cover photo, writing a bio description, maintaining a positive image, and interacting with others. At the end of this training, we will have a brief Q&A where you can ask any questions that you may have. Before we dive in, I want to ask which social media platforms you all use the most. Do you use Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram?
Okay, you can go ahead and select on this page. We're going to leave the poll open for a few seconds. Okay, great. We're getting some answers. We'll close it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, great. It looks like the majority of you use Facebook the most. The first best practice I want to discuss is deciding which social media platform to build your personal brand. There are multiple social media platforms, but in this training we will be focusing on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Facebook is the most popular platform, having 1.37 billion daily active users on average as of 2017. Instagram comes in second with 500 million daily active users as of September 2017. And Twitter has 157 million daily active users as of Q2 in 2017. So as you can see, this is an enormous amount of people who you have access to in social media, and in turn, they have access to you as well. This is an amazing thing, but can also be detrimental if you're not aware of how you are perceived online. Choosing the best social media platform to utilize depends on what you'd like to do with the channel. Are you looking to connect with friends and family? Facebook might be the best choice. Are you wanting to share content or updates and news to others? Twitter might be the way to go. Feeling creative and love photo editing? Then Instagram is for you. Maybe it's a combination of all these platforms. Regardless of the channel you choose, or if you choose to be active on all 3 platforms, be sure to completely build out your profile and make sure that you have the time to manage it accordingly.
Profiles that are not fully bid out, meaning they do not have a profile picture, a description, or regular posting, do not help to tell your story. This is why I would suggest that you focus on one social media platform. When deciding a name or a handle for your profile, be sure to use your full name if possible. If your name is taken, try to get as close to your name as possible. For example, instead of Kaitlyn space Corrigan, try Kaitlyn.Corrigan. You can also use a nickname for yourself as long as it is close to your name and is appropriate. Kate Corrigan will be a good example. Refrain from using verbs or extra nouns in your name or words along the lines of princess or miss unless they are in your actual name. These do not represent you in the best way because they're not in your name and it can be taken as unprofessional. Your name shouldn't be descriptive because you want to show yourself as mature online. Choosing an appropriate profile picture and cover photo. One question I always keep in the back of my mind when choosing a profile picture, cover photo, and really posting anything online is, what would my grandma think? Because I know the second that I post a picture that grandma doesn't approve of, I'm getting a quick phone call and a good talking to. So when choosing a profile picture, make sure your grandma or someone that you look up to and wouldn't want to disappoint would approve. Profile pictures shouldn't be taken at a party or contain alcohol or cigarettes or anything illegal. They should also not show excessive skin, facial piercings, or tattoos. Although tattoos may be a part of who you are and they are a form of self-expression, many companies have strict appearance policies and it's just better to be safe than sorry, especially when applying for jobs. You should also be dressed in business casual clothing, and the picture should be cropped in the headshot fashion, at the waist or at the chest. Make sure that when you're taking your profile picture, that it's in a well-lit room, or even better, has natural light. Selfies are okay, as long as they follow these guidelines and are not angled down. It is best to ask that someone takes your picture for you, or you can even use a self-timer. Choosing a cover photo does not have to be as formal. You can choose to post a picture of you doing something you love, such as gardening or volunteering. Group pictures are also okay as well. However, refrain from party or club pictures and make sure they do not contain alcohol or cigarettes. Make sure that your photos are not pixelated. They look better and show that you care. Many people also choose to post quotes or graphics. This is okay too. Just be sure to choose a quote that is motivational or inspirational and does not contain any foul language. Also, remember that anything you post, even if you delete it later, may still be found on the internet. Once it's been posted on social media, a potential or current employer can find it. Okay, we've got another poll for you guys. So take a look at these photos, and which photo do you think would make an appropriate profile picture? We'll leave this slide up for a second, and then you can make your choice.
Okay, if you guys want to choose between choice A and choice B from the previous slide, we'll leave the poll open for a few seconds. We've already got a few answers in. Looks like most people are going with the correct choice. So we're going to close the poll in 3, 2, 1.
Yes, that's great. It looks like everyone chose choice A, and that's correct. This is a great example of an appropriate profile picture because she's wearing business casual clothing. She doesn't have a distracting background. You can clearly see her face, and she has a big smile, and this photo was taken in a very well-lit room. It isn't blurry or pixelated, and it's cropped at the chest. It's very professional looking. Choice B would not be an appropriate profile picture because she is showing a little bit of skin, and it looks like it was taken at a club, and alcohol is clearly visible. It also isn't cropped in a professional way, and the picture is slightly blurry. Writing a bio/description. It is best practice to use simple language to tell a little bit about yourself. Do not write more than a few descriptive sentences. Be careful to not overshare specific information or share too much from your past. For example, you can say that you have 2 children, but do not share their names. This is your profile, not anyone else's, so make sure that it's focused around you. Also, always be positive. Make sure to spell check and use correct grammar in your bio. Have a family member or a friend look at your bio before sharing it on your profile. Misspelled words are a red flag for employers who may be searching for your profile. Let's discuss a good bio and what makes this example bio great. Hi, my name is Mary, and I am a UMA graduate and aspiring pharmacy technician. I am married and a mother of 2 boys. I love to cook, read novels, and relax with my family and friends in my spare time. I am also a huge Tampa Bay Rays fan and love to go to baseball games any chance I get. This is a great example of what a professional description should contain because Mary is focusing her bio around herself and her interests. She also limits it to a few sentences. She is also remaining upbeat and positive through her bio. She says that she has children but does not list their names. She also lists a few of her interests but does not overshare. Maintaining a positive image online. This is the most important aspect of your social media profile, and it coincides perfectly with the other best practices. One thing that I wanted to mention is online trolls. Trolls are people who instigate fights online by posting off-topic, negative, and sometimes offensive comments. Do not partake in being a troll or even responding to trolls. I know they are everywhere now, but it is better to just not respond at all than to feed their fire. Your friends, family, and followers can read your comments, so please only post positive words or words that you wouldn't mind your grandma reading. Even if this post is not directly on your profile, your friends and followers will see it because their feed, it shows your comment at the top. Everything you post is a reflection of yourself, so make sure that you're representing yourself in the best version. Do not post emotionally. Feelings pass, but words you post on the internet are forever. Someone read them, even if you think no one did. If you are needing to express your emotions, call or text a friend or someone that you can confide in. Do not post online. Make sure that you use proper grammar and spelling when writing posts. Never use profanities in your posts, captions, or tweets. Also, stay away from anything that you wouldn't discuss at work, such as religion, politics, or partying. Another tip is when sharing pictures, make sure that they are appropriate, but you can show a little more personality than your profile and cover photos do. Just be sure that your privacy settings are locked down so that your friends or followers are the only ones seeing your posts and photos. For this reason, do not friend or let anyone follow you that you do not know. It is also not a good idea to accept friend or follow requests from coworkers or bosses. Employers check their employees' social media accounts, and sometimes termination is a result if the employee is posting content that does not align with the company's mission and values. You are a reflection of the company, and your social media is a reflection of you. Be sure to always remember that when deciding what to post online. Since anyone can search your profile online, we recommend checking your privacy settings and deciding if you should secure your account settings. Let's go over how to check your privacy settings for Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. To make your profile private on Facebook, log into your account and go to the home page. At the top right, there is a little down-facing arrow. Click the arrow and click on Settings. Once in Settings, click the tab that says Privacy. Here, you will be able to adjust your privacy settings accordingly. I have mine locked down so that only my friends can view my profile, posts, and photos. It is also a good idea to unclick the box that allows your profile to show up in search engines such as Google. If you have a Twitter account, you want to be sure that your tweets are protected. This means that your account is private and only your followers can view your tweets. To do this, go to your Twitter homepage. At the top right, next to the tweet button, click the round picture of yourself. Then click Settings and Privacy. This will direct you to your settings. On the left-hand side, click Privacy and Safety. You will see a box at the top that says Protect Your Tweets. Make sure that box is selected. It is also a good idea to only allow people you follow to tag you in photos. Instagram makes it even easier to make your account private. Just go to your profile and click the gear symbol next to Edit Profile. This brings you to your settings. Scroll down and click the button that says Private Account. Once you see the blue, you're all set. After this webinar ends, I encourage you all to Google yourself, your nicknames, or anything else that an employer could use to identify you. Try Googling your first name and where you live. Then try your name and your current employer. Keep Googling various things to see what comes up. Make sure that what you're seeing is appropriate and that you would feel comfortable with your grandma seeing it. Before we wrap up and move to our Q&A session, I wanted to quickly recap some of the key points we covered. There are an enormous amount of people who you have access to in social media, and in turn, they have access to you. This is an amazing thing, but it can also be detrimental if you are not aware of how you are perceived online. Build out your profile with an appropriate profile picture, cover photo, description, etc. Use your full name when choosing a name or handle for your profile. Anything you post, even if you delete it later, may still be found on the internet. Do not get caught up with online trolls. Those are the people that instigate fights online. Everything you post is a reflection of yourself, and be sure to update your privacy settings.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kaitlyn, for that presentation. I actually didn't even know myself that when you post a comment or something on someone else's feed that it shows up on the top of your friends.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's good to know. So one more thing before we go into the Q&A is we just would love to ask you guys to review UMA and your experience. If you guys wanted to drop a quick little note at ultimatemedical.edu/grad reports, we would be very grateful. And I think that's it. So Kaitlyn, let's go into the question and answer session. We've got 2 questions already. If you guys do have questions, feel free to send them in the questions box. Make sure to type them since we can't hear you. So Kaitlyn, let's get started with our first question. Can I include hashtags in my bio?
It depends. So just for an example, so my professional platform, I actually am on 3 platforms. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. But I use Facebook as my more professional looking, profile, online profile. My Instagram account and my Twitter are more for fun. They're more, for my friends. So I think as long as you keep it relevant and if you keep it maybe 1 or 2 hashtags, like just for example, on my hashtag, I graduated from the University of South Florida, so I have hashtag USFgrad. So as long as it's professional and it's relevant to who you are, I think that's totally fine. I would just make sure to reserve that for your fun account and not really, if you have keep Facebook as like more of your professional one and don't use a hashtag in that description.
Okay, great. Also, kind of going off of that same theory, we have another question. Can I include emojis in my bio?
So kind of along the same lines as that, I think emojis are okay as long as it's limited to just 1 or 2, and it's something appropriate. No, I know they have the beer emojis, the little martini emojis, none of that. Maybe a smiley face or a flower, or if you love cats, maybe put the little cat emoji. Just don't overdo it. Maybe 1 or 2.
Okay, great answer. We've got another question here. Do you have any advice on professionalism tips or branding yourself on Pinterest? Do employers really search sites like that?
So Pinterest is a tricky one. They do actually. A lot of employers will go on that site to see what you're interested in, just dig deep about you before your interview, stuff like that. So I would recommend not posting anything. The same rules would apply to, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just don't post anything that is risky. So, and if you want to post, I also wouldn't post a lot about alcohol as well. If you have alcohol recipes, as I know a lot of people use that for Pinterest as well, I would probably secure that in a private board. I also wouldn't post resume tips or anything. If you're interviewing for a new job and you're at a current job, just make sure that you have that on a private board as well, like interview tips and stuff like that, because you just don't want your current employer to see that you're looking for another job, or just try to protect yourself in that way.
Awesome. So we actually got a follow-up question on that question. So before we go into the next one, we'll ask this. How are you able to restrict your pins on Pinterest? So I know you just talked about the private board. How do you do that?
So when you go to create a new board on Pinterest, if you want to email me, I can give you a better descriptive answer, but I'll just go through it really quick for everyone here. So you can create a private board, and it says secret board, and it says locked, and only you can view it. So when you go to pen a pen, or save a pen now it's called, it'll pop up and say create a new board or pen to your other boards. Do create a new board and just make sure it's a secret board. That way you can still post it and no one else will be able to see it.
And we can follow up with you with those instructions. All right, so the next question. So what if I want my family in my profile picture?
It's okay to have your family in your profile picture. Just the same rules apply. No alcohol visible, nothing illegal. Also, just make sure that your family is dressed kind of in a business casual way. They don't have to be super formal, but as long as they look presentable, and also that the picture is clear, no pixelation, and just as long as it's a kind of a good quality photo, maybe even professional, like a professionally done photo. That's what I would do as well for that.
That's great advice. We've got a few more questions. We'll follow up with these. If you guys have a question, feel free to send them in now. Otherwise, we'll end on the last few. So, Kaitlyn, do employers ever make accounts with a different name and, like fake information basically, and then friend or follow employees?
I have heard of this happening in the past. So yes, it does happen. This is just why you need to make sure that you're posting the right content and that you would feel comfortable. I said grandma in my example because that's my personal example, but you really should anything you post, you really should make sure that you be comfortable with your employer seeing it or anyone. So I would just stick to the same rules as the profile picture. Just make sure that it doesn't contain alcohol, anything illegal. Just make sure that you're posting things that are positive and that don't have a negative, wouldn't make others look at you negatively. Just remain positive and just don't post things that, if you have a bad day at work, maybe call a friend. Don't post that you hate your job or whatever. Call a friend and confide in them as well. I would just be really, really mindful when I'm posting because that does happen,
Great. So we actually received a follow-up question to that. Well, it's kind of related. Well, if I make my account private, then isn't it okay for me to just post whatever I want?
So it's okay to post, whatever you want within reason as long as you're professional. As long as you're professional. Sorry about that. We had a slight interruption. As long as you're remaining professional, it is because you never know. Somebody could make a fake profile just to check up on you, which, I personally don't think that's right. I hope that's not happening out there, but it does happen. It's not unheard of. So I would just make sure that your grandma would approve of it.
Okay, we've got one final question. I don't understand why I can't say something like Miss Kelly as my name on Facebook. What exactly is wrong with that?
The best practice is to just stay as close to your name as possible and use your full name as well. So something like Miss Kelly, that's not really your full name. If your name is Kelly Green, that just sounds way more professional, and that's just who you are. Miss is a descriptive term, and we just want to stay away from descriptions in our handles and profile names.
Great answer. So if we don't have any other questions, we're going to wrap up a little bit early. We'll give everyone a few more seconds to just type in a question if they have one. Otherwise, we thank you so much, Kaitlyn, for presenting on this. We will be recording it and posting it on YouTube and sending it out later in the week. Also, if you guys do have questions for Kaitlyn that you think of later or anything that you need from UMA, you can contact alumni at ultimatemedical.edu. We're here to be a resource for you. We thank you guys for joining today. So I guess we're going to wrap up.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.